before every video, I want to show you guys the last trade that I made. Here's the last trade that I made. If you want trades like these, make sure to hop in the Discord. This is what it looks like with full access. Let's get into the video. Hey guys, Moosey Crypto here. The last video I made was a quick update on Bitcoin's technical analysis. It's been playing out pretty well. I'll upload a new one soon because there's some new technical analysis to look at. But in this video, I want to be teaching you guys all about double tops and double bottoms. Now, double tops and double bottoms are seen everywhere in the charts, but they're also the most misunderstood patterns in what's truly a double bottom, what's truly a double top, when do they form, and why. So let's jump right into the video. So double tops and double bottoms can be found everywhere, from your 5-minute time frames all the way up to your dailies. Now, they're a little more rare on the higher time frames you go, but if they're on the higher time frames, it means bigger moves. So if we look at this chart, this is actually the Bitcoin chart. If you take a look at Bitcoin, I'll show you guys a bunch of examples on what they are. But first, I want to hop down here and explain to you what a double bottom and what a double top looks like. So double top and double bottom, they're just inverted patterns, and they tell you bearish or bullish. Each pattern has an inverted side to it. So do double tops and double bottoms. All they are is inverted, telling you bearish or bullish. Well, to start off, these are our double tops, which means it's a bearish indication pattern. So if we come over, the double top is actually just this M part that you see right here, while this continuation of the tail, this is just going to tell you when you should enter the trade, when you should get out, what's the measured move. This is all it's indicating. As soon as this right leg closes to the left leg, you have your double top and it is confirmed. So if we come over here and see what a double top is telling you, is we had our push upwards. We came down, had a little sell-off, and then tried to break our previous high. Now, double tops form from failing to create the new high. And it's saying we tried to break through that resistance, but we failed, and now we're coming back down. And now you have to pay attention to this part right here, this bottom of the V. This is going to tell you everything. Kind of looks like a mountaintop, right? Well, if this breaks below and holds, you bet you can continue that. This will come all the way back down to where its legs started. So that's going to give you your M pattern. Well, Moosey, how do we actually trade it? How do we enter double bottoms? How do we see them coming? The best way to see double tops coming in is actually when they form on resistances. So say you have a pattern and you just broke out, and now it's coming up to retest your pattern. Well, let's look for a double top in this instance. Let it touch once, come back down, try to break through and ignore the pattern that it previously created. Or if it creates a double top, this is our perfect retest. I can get in and ride 2 patterns at once. Now it's going to tell you how long you want to stay in your trade. But if you're just using the double top, the way we look at it is measured moves. So when we come down to our leg and say this is holds for the left side of the screen, so pay attention to the left. When this comes down to the bottom of the leg and creates your double top, what we want to see is it push back up. This will be healthy to come to the bottom of that V right here. And that is the area that you would enter your short at. Once you enter your short, well, you can ride the continuation downwards. Well, Moosey, how do I know how far it goes downwards? Well, every pattern has a measured move. Double tops and double bottoms have the same exact one. Well, all it is an ABCD pattern. And if you don't know what that is, I'll have an in-depth video I will post on this channel as well, so don't you worry. But a little snippet of it would be, here's a double top move. I will take the measurement right here of that first leg, this pink line. That is the measurement of the first leg. And what I will do is I will come up to the V, place it here, and say, okay, once I enter my short, I am taking that move and putting my take profit at the bottom of that move. So what I would do is say here and point it here. This right here would be my measured move. And how I would trade this is I'd say, okay, I'm shorting here. My stop loss would be on top while my take profit is at my measured move. And then you'd watch to see if it hits. Now on the right side, if we jump over to the right side, it's a little bit different. It's the same exact concept. Now, if you see this happen on a double top, you're like, oh, well, it didn't come up here. I'm screwed. You know, what's going to happen? Well, actually, double tops, you can enter 2 ways. I prefer the left way. It gives me more confidence in the trade. It gives me more confidence in the pattern that formed. But if you see it only come up and retest the bottom of the leg, so that means on its way down, it snapped the left leg. Once it snaps, you're like, okay, well, it has to come back up to the top. Well, not always. What it can do is actually come back up. If you watch it close below the left leg, the right leg closes below the left. Sometimes you will see it come up and just retest that right leg or the left leg that it recently closed below. It's just retesting where the current low was. So once it does that, you can see the exact same thing will happen. Well, it actually will give you a bigger move. So if we actually come over here and do, oh, well, this is our actual right leg now, that's a big move, right? It's bigger than the one on the left. Well, drag it over where you would enter, and you can see that your take profits would be a lot larger. And what you can do on the stop loss on this point is, if depends on how you are trading, but you can put it all the way up top to make sure you're confirmed in case it does want to retest this up top. So you give yourself a little leeway. Now, if you're hitting tight trades and you're saying, well, if it breaks this and tries to come to the top, then I'm wrong and I'll re-enter, that's okay too. Then you just put your stop loss around halfway in between, and then you drag it down to your ABCD measurement. So that is the measured moves of how these patterns work. Now, if we invert the double top and turn it green, we can see that this is our double bottom. It's the exact same concept, but now it is bullish, which means it's trying to push upwards. It's trying to bottom out. And the best way to find these is when they sit on supports or a retest of a pattern that broke out upwards. So the same thing, if we come over and look at our double bottoms, what we can see is we have our W. It's not an M, it is now a W. And it comes up to retest where that left W leg was. When it comes down to retest that V, this line, we would enter along. And it's the same exact way that you played them short. Well, you'd enter along here. It means your short would be below the W, the last low, and then your take profit would be at your measured move, which again, measured moves are going to be the length of your leg. You drag it to the top, and that is your measured move of a double top. Now, if you want to trade it and be safe, you would do it exactly how we did before. You say, all right, well, this would be our ABCD pattern. So you would take your profits at ABCD patterns. However, I want you to know there's two take profits that you can play this. The true double top, the true measurement, could be stacking it back on top of the leg. Okay, that is the best way to look at it for maximum take profits. But if you want to be safe and secure profits, which is the safest way to trade, it's going to make you more money in the long run. You would play it as an ABCD, which means you would take it where you entered the same move of the first leg. The same thing over here to our right. When we fail to come down to our V right here, well, you're coming down to the leg, you're entering along there. Now, that's when your TP2 will hit, right? So if we copied over the same length of this, right here, that's our leg. Stack it right here, and that's where you would look to take profits, same exact way. So that's why it's kind of a TP1 and TP2. I'll take out a certain percentage of my TP1 and the rest of it at my TP2, then my trade is successful. Now, if you take your TP1, you can move up your stop loss and make you have no risk. So if it continues to go higher to your TP2, you'll make even more money. If it doesn't, well, you still made money on where your TP1 was. Now, you won't lose a risk if you move up your stop loss. So I want to jump into the actual charts now that you have a basic understanding of what double tops and double bottoms are. Let's go find some real world examples so I can teach you how to use them while trading. So our first example that we found is a double bottom, which means it's a bullish pattern. Now, how did I know this double bottom would form? Well, we can see that, yes, there is actually a previous pattern that's playing out, right? We can see that this was a pattern. It broke above that pattern. You can use that as well. Well, how do I know the double bottom is going to income and this is going to break upwards instead of downwards? Because this pattern actually could break either way. Well, the way to figure it out, right, is this on a support or is this on a resistance? Well, we can see that right now this is on a support and it's trying to double bottom, creating lower lows, creating this pattern. Well, now we can see that this double bottom is formed from how does it react to this previous low. So what I would do to find out if we're going to create a double bottom or a double top is if I go back in time, and I watch this push downwards. I see that it fell on a support. What I would do is I would take a box and I would draw from the bottom of the wick to the bottom of the body. This is for double bottoms. So what I can say is, well, as long as there's no candle that closes below this box on the same time frame, has to be the same time frame, not any other ones. If this does not close below this box on a 4-hour time frame, well, I can assume it will double bottom. And so we can watch what happens. So if I go forward in time and let it play out, we see that, okay, it touched the bottom. It came into it. Has it closed below? I don't see anything that is closed below. I do see that it came close. Well, it can come close all it wants as long as it doesn't close below that box. So I can use that as a bottom. Well, now what I would do is make my assumption. I need to see it come to the top of this box. So if it comes up here and touches this bottom of the box, I can confirm this now as a double bottom. So if we wait and see what happens, it comes up and touches. Well, now that it's up and touches, how do I enter this trade? So what we can do is, this is confirmed on the bottom. We can delete that, and we can find the middle aspect of our trade. Here is what we see. You can enter anywhere, if I change this box color, anywhere in this pink box. So what I would do if I was trading this would say, okay, well, I can see it came back up to the top. We have a confirmed double bottom. So I'd say, I want to place my trade at this apex. Did it close up top above it? No, it did not. So I'm not assuming that first example on the right. I'm assuming the one on the left that we showed earlier, which means what it would do is come down to that V, and then from there it would take off in the measured move. So my trade would be down here, my stop loss below. My first entry point here, somewhere in this box, I would always take the top to make sure I get in the trade. I'll let it go down a little bit, but if it's a bullish pattern, I can go red before I go green. It's okay. Now, how do I know my take profit? Let's do our measured move. So I want the price range of this leg. Now, to be secure on your measured moves, try not to go to wick because you're trying to secure your profits. Give it a little room that if it wicks through and closes below, well, if you do body to body, that's the best secure way to take your profits. So here's our measured move. Let's go body to body. And I want to stack that right on top. Now, when I stack that right on top, let's see how this trade would play out. So if I let it play, I'm in the trade and pause. I can see this now. This is my take profit, correct? Now, I'm sure if I mess with that a little bit, it's still, that is my take profit. And we can see if I had my TP here, exactly on that measured move, we would hit that take profit, call it a day. We just made that trade. Now get out. Yes, are they reversal patterns? Can they be considered reversal patterns? Yes, they can. But would you try to bet on reversal patterns during a bearish market without hitting where you need to? No. So if you're just trading, this is how you would trade it. There's my double bottom. Now, actually, this double bottom that we see and I watched on the chart actually plays out into something else. Once you use your double bottom, we can now delete this. Well, what we see is this was our previous low now, right? We have this area right here in our 4-hour time frame. And I know that this is our top from our measured move because that's when it'll start to reverse in a different pattern. So if I see, well, I want to watch how this reacts to this pink box. And as long as there is no candle close below the top of this box, it could double top. Well, in this example, it actually did that. It decided that, hey, I tried to push above and break. Did I close below it? No. Or did I close above it? No. So wicks above are okay. As long as you don't have a close on that time frame, it is still in play. So you can go from a double top and do a double bottom all the time. So, well, this failed to close above. Yes, it did wick. Whatever. We're still not in this trade. We pulled out already on our double bottom. So let's let it continue to play. And now it's back down to our V. Now that's giving me confidence saying, well, if it came all the way back down to that previous bottom, it's going to snap and come to our other bottom that we had, which is our left leg. So if we watch what happens, let's let it play. We're still not in this trade. Of course, there's a snap. We can see this happen. And we snap through. Well, we had two examples of double bottoms and double tops. Well, on our right double top, we saw that if it's closing below the leg, what can we assume? Well, we can assume that this right here is going to be our entry since it closed below the leg. So I would trade this in a matter of aspect of come over here, grab my short, and say, well, if it comes to this bottom of this pink box and I drag it over, there's my entry. And I want to say, well, if it comes to the top, then I was wrong. So I'll put my stop loss about right in between or on the V to say I was wrong. Now you could be safe again and place it above. Of course, that's always okay. But right here, I'm going to say, well, if it comes back up here, I'm wrong and I'm knocked out of my trade. Well, now I can see that that candle, when it closed below, came up to retest and put me into the trade. I am now in this trade. Well, where's my take profit? Well, I would do the same thing we've been doing. I'll take this line. This is my measured move. Or I can use the price data to give a little better example. Here's my measured move, this price range. So I would stack this on my entry. It closed below, that means this is going to be the measured move. Now let's see how this plays out. If I wait and watch, does this come down? I'm in the trade still. And eventually, aha, we hit my take profit because that take profit was right at our measured move and we eventually went down to hit it. That's how you'll play double tops and double bottoms on a 4-hour time frame. Now this might take a while to trade, but you can see the examples that we have is we have our double bottom, hit our measured move, which created straight into a double top and hit measured moves on both sides. So you can play the game just by measured moves and resistances, or measured moves and resistance and supports. Well, we can see our double bottom played right on this support. Now, if you come to our left, our double top played right at our resistance. It's the exact same way. And now let's jump into some other examples. So now we found another example, and this is on the hourly time frame. What I can see is I had a push up right here, right? This push up actually was a retest of a previous pattern, which is a head and shoulders. So don't assume that this will double bottom and break all the way up top. But what you can see, and by head and shoulders, I mean this pattern right here. And I'll make a video on that as well. But that's your head and shoulders. Well, if it breaks that on a 1-hour time frame, all it's going to do is come up and retest. So ignore the double bottom after it just broke a bearish pattern. So anyway, if we come to our double top, what we're looking for is a double top around this area, somewhere in this area on the neckline of that head and shoulders, right? So if I do this and say, all right, this is where I'll look for a double top. As soon as it broke this, I'm looking for a double top. And what I can see is, well, there's one that actually formed. How do we know that this is going to double top here or that'll be confirmed? Well, that is our previous retest of our head and shoulders. So we're going to draw our box from the top. Now what I see is after this push up, I can watch as it comes down and tries to break it. All it did was hit that box, confirmed it retested that previous top, and now it can go down if it would like to. Well, once it breaks this wick right here, which is our V, this part right here is our V. This is your left leg. Well, as soon as it breaks this green wick on the bottom, I assume that it'll come all the way back down to its leg, which is right here, this area. On this pink box, as soon as I see something either touch or as soon as I see something break through, I can assume how this is going to play. Well, how do we do this, right? So let this candle form, let it do its thing. It touched, wicked up, but then closed below on the next candle. Well, now I'm saying my entry point would be on the retest of this pink candle. So if we went back in time and watched how this works, all right, I see an official close below. This is going to be my entry point for a short. So let's grab our short indicator right here and place our trade. We would do this right at the bottom for the retest. As soon as it comes up here, I'm wrong. And a measured move. Now let's watch what our measured move would be. Let's grab our tool and say, all right, body to secure profits, drag it to the bottom, just like it is, right? Well, this would be dragged right here where I enter my trade on the retest, and that means my take profits dragged all the way down here. Now, if I watch what happens on this trade, I'm now in the trade, right? It has activated me, and I'm assuming that since it closed below that left leg, then it's coming up to retest that left leg and then get shot down to our measured move that we just made in our ABCD. Boom, one single candle, we hit our trade. So that trade right there, all right, we just secured our profits. I want to show you something that is possible on double tops. This middle section, not once did it come up to retest, as we can see, right? Not one time did this come up and retest. Well, if you fail a retest, just like I always say, everything retests. So we can watch eventually what happened to this chart was it came down, it took a while, but watch what happens. You have a very large candle that came up to retest. If you still had a trade sitting here, well, watch how much money you just made on the way down. That's how it works, right? You can have your supports and say you have your resistances, and then you have your pattern retests. Well, if that never failed, it's sure to have a reaction on the point that it failed to retest. And what you would have done is sat there, just like we did over here. This took a while to get there, but we can see, hey, I had a short up here when it comes to retest. From all the way back here, if it comes up to retest, I can take my measured move. Same thing. It would be the same measured moves. You can just watch. You would have made that in a single candle. So double tops and double bottoms, they're everywhere. Keep an eye out for them. Look for double tops on resistances and look for double bottoms on supports, especially after breaking a bigger pattern like triangles, which I'll go over later. Head and shoulders, same thing. I'll create videos on all of those. But these are the basics of double tops and double bottoms. Remember, as long as nothing closes above or below, it can wick above. As long as it doesn't close above or below the previous top, it will be considered a double top and double bottom, and you'll see how it plays out no matter what. So just keep an eye out for that. Hope that helped the understandings of double bottoms and double tops. And as always, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. If not, you guys already know where to find me. Jump over to the Discord. Links in the description. If you're looking for exchange or trade, hop over to Femix. That is in the description as well, my referral code. So hop on over. I appreciate you guys' time. Take it easy. Moosey Crypto out.